What's going on, everyone? This is Erik with Full Mount MMA, and today I am joined once again by UFC welterweight Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Stephen, thanks for joining us.
Anytime, my friend. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, of course. So you have a really exciting fight coming up December 18th against Belal Muhammad. How has camp been so far? I know you just got done training.
Yes, man. It's been kicking my behind. Obviously, training's rough. That's where you get the most beat up, right? After a fight, you take some shots and maybe a little bit of injuries here and there. You may get in a fight, but the recovery after is pretty much from the training camp. You're recovering from all that training you've been doing. Of course, doing ice baths and physical therapy, things like that, help you out. But it's been great, man. Got a ice bath in this morning. Got some good wrestling and jiu-jitsu tonight. Cardio's on point, and I feel in the best shape of my life, and I still have another week, of training. So I'm going to be ready to rock and roll come December 18th for sure.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see it. How's the toe? I was watching your YouTube channel and you were having some toe problems.
Yeah, man. I ended up hitting Jeff Neal with it last year, and it's been bothering me kind of off and on ever since, but it's good. I think I must have had a bruised bone, a bruised toe, bruised bone, which lasts forever, but it's been feeling great for this camp. So it's awesome. I got Chris Weidman coming in next week. So he's going to be helping me out. He's got some really good wrestlers and jiu-jitsu guys coming in with him. And of course, my guys here at Team Pitch Black have been awesome the whole way. You got to give it up to your sparring partners, man, your training partners, because even if they don't have fights, they're still grinding in there with you. You know what I mean? Like you only see us fighting in the cage, but we wouldn't have gotten there if it wasn't for our team. Our guys that you're sparring with every day and kicking and punching, and they sacrifice themselves for you. And I try to do that with them when they have fights coming up, but you got to give it up for all of our sparring partners and training partners. They're awesome.
Of course. Well said. You said something about Chris Weidman coming out to help you train. How's his recovery going? Is he back to able to do a lot of the things in training that he was doing before? Of course, the gruesome leg injury was a long recovery.
Oh, I know, man. I mean, that I was there for that leg injury. It was terrible, man. Oh my gosh, to see that thing snap. And he's had 2 surgeries on it because I think the rod, after the first surgery, the rod that they had put in was giving him some problems. I think it was too long. So they had to go back in, put a shorter rod in, but you're never going to break that thing again. He's got a big titanium rod in the middle of that thing, but healing up. He's healing up, still doing physical therapy, but he's back training with his guys, wrestling, sparring. Right now it's just building that leg back up, because not putting weight on it and, traumatizing that leg, there's a lot of atrophy going on. So he's got to build that muscle back for sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Swinging back to your fight real quick. I was a little bit surprised to hear this fight come together, just not a matchup that I had personally thought of before. So how did this all kind of come to be? Was Belal on your radar before they made this fight, or was he just the one available for the date?
I think a little bit of both. I keep a lot of these guys on my radar. Although a lot of the 170s that are the top 15, they're all on my radar. And of course, I loved watching him fight against Damian Maia, which I thought was an excellent performance on his part. But it was kind of like one of those things where I wanted to kind of have another fight before the year ended. And there was really nobody ranked above me. I know he was looking for a fight. He couldn't get a fight with Leon again and some of these guys in the top. So I was like, hey, man, let me give this guy the opportunity. I know as I was coming up and where he is right now, I was there before. And these guys that were ranked up in the top gave me the opportunity, and want to give him that opportunity. So, and to be able to face off against these up and coming guys and is good for my psyche, knowing that I can still hang with these guys, that these guys that are new in the sport and bringing something new to the sport. And Belal, he's a tough guy. And I think that's where he's great. He's just a very tough opponent, and there's no giving up in him. He's not really excellent in one thing. He's pretty good everywhere. He's good everywhere. He's got good striking, good wrestling, good jiu-jitsu. He's got some submissions under his belt as well. And he's faced some of the top guys. So that's what makes him scary. He's always getting better. So, and that's one of the reasons why I'm excited to face off against somebody like him.
Yeah, you touched on just how well-rounded he is there. But as far as what you expect from him, are you expecting more of a grappling approach? Of course, we saw that in your last fight with Gilbert Burns for the 3 rounds of just pretty much straight wrestling. Are you expecting kind of a similar game plan from him, or maybe you think he'll try to stand and bang a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, he's not afraid to put it together, but I think he's got some training in with Gilbert Burns, so he may be taking a note out of his book. But do I think he's going to just hold me down? No, I didn't expect Burns just to hold me there. It wasn't really much a fight. It was just him holding me down pretty much. Belal's not that type of fighter. He's going to mix it up for sure. He's going to be standing up. He's going to be shooting in. And, for that Gilbert fight, it was kind of my fault. I was more focused on what he was going to do to me instead of me thinking about what I was going to do with him. You know what I'm saying? What I was going to do to him. So just kind of reset my mindset for this fight and ready to throw down. Not worried about what he's got. He's got to worry about what I got, what I'm going to be bringing to the table. But he's a great guy, man. I've talked to him. I've chatted with him. I was supposed to be on a podcast of his or something like that. I wasn't able to make it. So if you're listening to this, Belal, I'm sorry. We got to do this. We got to do the podcast after the fight or even before it. I don't care. But he's a good, solid, honorable guy. And those are the type of guys I like to fight.
I got you. And of course, we don't want to look past Belal at all. You have quite a fight ahead of you. But the goal is always the title for you. We've talked about that before. If you do win on December 18th, how many more wins do you think it'll take to kind of get you back in that title picture? You're ranked 5 right now, so it shouldn't take too much, right?
Yeah, I don't think it should take much at all. Maybe one more, but we'll see. I mean, the thing is, Usman's running out of guys. He's running out of guys. He's faced everybody in the top 5 or on the top besides me. He's fought Vicente Luque. He's fought Leon Edwards, which I think he's going to get that next shot. He's fought Colby Covington twice. He's knocked out Burns. Like, who else are you going to feed these guys? You're going to keep fighting the same guys over and over again? Nah, of course, you got Khamzat coming up as well, he's on a roll. He's just so popular. He's an up-and-coming guy as well. And even Sean Brady, who just beat Michael Chiesa. So you do have some of those guys that are coming up. But, my goal is to get out there, win my fights, and get there before they do.
Yeah, of course. You touched on Khamzat there. Are you on the Khamzat train yet? I feel like we see so little of him in the octagon, but he looks so good when he's in there.
Dude, he looks humongous. He just wrestled Hermanson, and he looked bigger than Hermanson did. I'm like, what the heck, man? But I'm telling you, I'm on the train. I think he's the real deal. He's been throwing dudes, smashing guys, throwing around Hermanson, who's known for his grappling. Most of his jiu-jitsu, not his wrestling, but still. To be able to throw a guy like that around, you got to be skilled. So I think he's got it, man. I would like to see more, more of a strike. I would love to see him just be like, hey man, I'm not going to take this guy down. I just want to strike for this guy. You know what I mean? But he's just so dominant at what he does. So he's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, it's fascinating to see him come up. Talking about you and the title again, at this stage in your career, is there any rush at all in your head? Are you rushing yourself? Because I think it was on Submission Radio, you joked about being 50 by the time you finally get to fight for the title again. But how much longer do you think you actually can or just want to be fighting?
Man, I'm a fighter, man. I've been doing this since I was 3, and I love to compete. And it's not really just about the competition. I think it's more about bettering myself, trying to be as good as I can be. I know I can be, right? To be able to push myself and to see myself grow. So I do it for basically my self-growth, to see how good I can actually make myself if I can, possibly. But I love the sport, man. I love what it brings, the new people, the training partners, the people coming in the gym, traveling around the world and meeting fans. I'll do it as long as I can. And let me tell you, man, Glover Teixeira is an inspiration of mine. He's in his 40s and he's just won the title. So, you know what I mean? It could be me. That could be me for sure.
Well, of course, and you always have a budding YouTube career to fall back on. You're approaching 400,000 subscribers. You could be a full-fledged YouTuber now if you wanted to be. Did you ever think that fans would react to this content and, you would be getting the audience that you have? I mean, this is a huge platform that you have on YouTube right now.
Thank you. I didn't really, me and my brother, Tony, we really didn't expect it, me and Sweet Tea. We just did it because we thought it would be fun. It'd be a great way to kind of, because I've always had people, a lot of fans asking me, how do you do this? How do you do this kick? Or what's this technique? And it kind of slowly kind of evolved into its own thing. We have our Technique Tuesday, but we turned into a podcast. We got a podcast going on. We have weekly vlogs that we do, doing different stuff. And we're having a blast with it, man. We're just having fun. And that's kind of our mindset going into it. Let's just have fun with this thing. So, and it doesn't feel like a job, I mean, I've got one day off in the week and that's a Sunday. And those are the days that we come in and film. So we love it. We love it. I didn't really expect it to blow up like it did, and we're still gaining followers, and we're just having a blast.
Well, you guys are killing it, so we'll make sure to link that
Thanks,
down below. Real quick, before I let you go here, Stephen, there's a lot of talk right now with Kamaru's title defenses about him possibly being the greatest welterweight of all time. In your mind, is the greatest welterweight of all time Kamaru Usman or George St. Pierre?
In my mind, it's GSP at this point. Man, the guy's defended the title like 15 times or something ridiculous. But it's GSP. I mean, I'm not saying Usman's not getting there because he's beating everybody. He is literally the up and coming of the GOAT, right? He in a few years, that's him. I mean, he would be the GOAT, but at this point, and GSP has always been an inspiration to me anyway, because he comes from a karate background as well. He's a good buddy of mine. So as of right now, it'll always be GSP.
I got you. Well said. Again, before I let you go here, I wanted to give you a chance. Any shout outs, any teammates, sponsors, personal things? The floor is yours. Anything you want to shed light to?
Well, yeah, guys, I would like to shout out my Instagram and Twitter. Go to Wonderboy MMA. Obviously, my YouTube, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Sweet Tea. I would like to shout out my management team, Paradigm. Thank you guys for everything. And of course, you. Thanks for having me on, my friend. A pleasure as always.
Of course. Always appreciate it, Stephen. Everyone follow him on everything he just said. We're going to list it all below. Stephen, I'll let you go to bed now. I know it's getting late, but appreciate the time as always.
Anytime, buddy. Thank you so much. I like that post you got behind you, man.
Yeah, of course. There you are.
Yes, sir.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for watching this video. If you like our content, be sure to subscribe to Full Man MMA. And while you're at it, make sure to hit the bell icon as well so you never miss an update from us.